What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. In my last video, I actually titled it, PlayStation Fans Do Not Like Accepting Truth. Why? And in that video, I provided data, evidence, and some of the stuff that we've seen from the illegal hack that's now being put on the gaming news websites regarding PlayStation's own admission and analysis as to their position in the market. In specifics, the slides are here on Windows Central, where they actually write an article and they actually provide these industry shifts and threats and possible opportunities. Now, Windows Central does a good job in actually giving a lot of nuance and a lot of details, but I say you as the consumer, you're better off if you actually go and look for the 69-page PowerPoint slide that is actually out there where this is a part of, because I saw that on my comment section. Somebody left a comment and said, if you've been in the business world, you'd understand that all companies do these reviews of their positions and of their competition. We know. We see it in the movies too. I know. This is one of the strangest statements I've ever seen. I'm just being sarcastic. The slides we see are also about half of what the presenter is saying. Actually, they're a fraction of what the presenter is saying. Slides are often used to get people's attention, with the speaker then bringing the nuance lacking on the slide. So sticking to the specific words used on the slide as you are isn't being fair to the data you have. I should end this video because at the end of the day, there's nothing else you can do in regard to arguing against people who don't want to accept the data that's actually here. This is PlayStation themselves saying that their pillars are dated. What else would I need to stick to? Where else am I going to find data about what PlayStation's current market position is that's going to be credible enough? It's from them. They're beholden to shareholders. If they hide any data, they're liable to fraud and litigation, and they're likely to have people lose their jobs. So there's a lot of accountability and a lot of different measures that ensure that this is actually the situation that they can present, even though it's internal to their own people who are vested in the company. Where else am I going to find it, sir? And this person says the actual situation could be better or worse than the information suggests. I'll be fair to you and say you are correct. The situation could be better or could be worse. Here's the thing. When you actually go and look at the information in its totality, you're going to realize that maybe the situation might be a little bit more urgent than is being made to seem by even these news agencies. I wouldn't say worse because I don't want to draw those conclusions and then go look like an idiot. Now, if you are wondering where you're going to actually find the full context, those two slides being part of a 69-point slide are actually available out there. Now, I know it's crazy, right? That fraction that I told you is actually just a small piece. When you look at much more going on, you'll realize that the situation is actually dire. Not only are the pillars of PlayStation's, business model behind, their subscription model is also very challenged because of some of the, different aspects of the industry that they look at and they share in those 69-point slides. Do you want to see what some of them are? I won't show you in this video because I don't want to get a copyright strike, and none of these news agencies has actually published them. So what I'll do is, in contrast or objection to what this, person said on my videos, which is basically taking the slides at face value, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read them to you guys verbatim, because there's no other way you can present this evidence that these PlayStation fans are going to accept the truth. But people who want to actually be objective, who want to see what is going on, are going to take this information and act accordingly, basically with their consumer interests in mind. Is that fair enough? I think that's fair enough. So in PlayStation actually talking about their PlayStation Plus strategy, which is a subscription model, because they know now that they need a model of some kind to keep their players around because of Game Pass, based on the other slide. So this is context, right? So the other slide saying, no, Game Pass rocks and our models suck. So what are we going to do? They're going to do ABC. However, they provide this as this, the challenges that they have. Challenge number one that was listed when you go look at these slides, because you will, I know you will, you like data, you like evidence, is budget. They say this. They actually highlight it in blue. They write the text in white, if you want to imagine. Then in another light sky blue color and the text in white, they write high content costs for headline titles and carryover catalog amortization from FY 2022 give us limited resources for new content. So they still have debts that they have to pay for the content that they've actually basically, leveraged in the past year. They also understand that if they want to get these costs, these third-party publishers are not playing around. They're going to want a lot of money. This is why Xbox is, basically shelling $1 billion a year to get this content. So they don't have that budget available, or they're saying that budget is really high, and so we probably are not going to be in a position to leverage it. However you want to read it, they also provide possible solutions to overriding the budget issues. They say number one, leverage revenue share. That's maybe, man, bring your game to our platform and we'll cut you a little, something when we see some money. That's basically what it is. Craft more focused, monthly lineups and avoid bad deals. In parentheses, no, seriously. So they don't even have the margin to even make a deal that's actually not going to pan out for them. This is one of their challenges. The second challenge was limited headline partners. They also cite that Ubisoft is gone because Ubisoft has their own subscription model. They cite Activision out. Let me just read it for you verbatim again. With Ubisoft content secured, Activision out, and EA Play not viable, headline content options are more limited. So what are their solutions? They're going to lean on larger opportunity partners. They're going to identify day and date potential hits. And they're going to secure Take-Two and EA titles. Well, they're going to try to leverage those, but the market being changed right now, they have somebody with deeper pockets. So unless they have some relationships that they can leverage, they just have a limited number of these games that they can go with based on their number one limitation being budget and number two limitation being partners. Because Activision is no longer their partner in this market. Activision is now a full-blown 100% competitor. They were more like a 70% competitor because they cut them a 30%, check on transactions done on their platform and maybe gave them exclusivity and they reduced that percentage, whatever it is. But now, no longer is a partnership the thing. Now, you may ask, what could they do to solve this? In my opinion, they already have they already have what it takes. They just know they need to bring PlayStation Plus to PC, or if you were actually being fair, they need to raise cash by selling more software. Selling hardware doesn't seem to do the job for them anymore. So I've always proposed, and they are looking at now in their own analyses, that they need to expand to the PC platform. This is why I made the video where I said, if you actually look at the Steam Platinum list that is here for gross revenue, Spider-Man 2 could have easily made this list with no problem. This list is at least 5 million in sales or more. At the least 5 million copies of your game sold in 2023. Because Hogwarts Legacy is the best-selling game of the year. If we split it up and say, 8 million on, PlayStation, for it to sell maybe 20 million copies, at least 5 million must have been on Steam here. Starfield is sitting here. Call of Duty is sitting here. Baldur's Gate is sitting here. Spider-Man has already sold 6 million copies on PlayStation. They need 7.1 to break even, according to the leaks in Insomniac. If you need $7 million to break even, what's wrong with selling maybe, say, 8 million more copies on PC and making $560 million minus 30% that you're more than likely going to write off in your taxes? What's wrong with that? Is there a problem with that? For the gentleman that left this comment saying, and in their comment, that was quite weird when they said that. I thought it was a bit condescending. They said this. They said, my point is, we can all sit here and be armchair business people, but most gamers aren't even going to understand the intricacies involved in business strategy. I think you minimize the intelligence of most gamers. This $560 million, you don't need to be a business strategist to know that that is a lot of good money coming into your pockets from your product that you already made. In fact, it's such a good strategy that after PlayStation had said that Spider-Man will only be for PlayStation. Do you remember that tweet? Do you guys remember that tweet? If you don't remember, let me remind you. The strategy is so beautiful that this article here basically comes to keep the receipts. It says, from Games Radar, remember when Insomniac said Spider-Man will never appear on PC? Twitter sure does. As of yesterday's State of Play, Sony revealed that both Spider-Man games are coming to PC later this year, which has led to the internet making a whole lot of fun of an old tweet in which the developer asserted the game will never be a PS4, will be a PS4 exclusive forever. There's a tweet that actually says that. The tweet has since been deleted, actually, but this person says this. It will never appear on Xbox or PC. It is a permanent PS4 exclusive. So people basically started memeing this whole thing because the strategy is that they know that they need to leverage the PC markets to make money. And when they know that budget and finances are a constraint, what do they need to do? They need to go and farm money from that platform, which holdeth a bunch of dollars. If the common sense does not add up in everybody's mind, I don't know what else needs to. Maybe they need to sell more consoles, right? Maybe they need to sell another 50 million. That's going to get the job done. But why wait to sell 50 million copies in 4 or 5 months when in 2 weeks you can make $500 million. I mean, see, if you have to be a business person to understand this nuance and understand the intricacy and talk all left and right, if it's not simple enough that you can actually write it on a napkin, then you are talking in circles and denying the fact. Warren Buffett is known for actually popularly saying, if I cannot work it out on a napkin or on the back of an envelope, then it doesn't make sense. If I can calculate it for you very simply here, that a middle school student in 6th grade will understand it, then you know that PlayStation is playing games that they probably cannot handle the outcome of. This is why within their ranks, they understand that these challenges are there. I'm not going to drop this argument. It doesn't have to be dropped. It has to be expanded upon more than anything else. Why? There's been a deficit of good information out there in the last few years. Because people have been engaging in the console war, they think that's what everybody is here to do. No. I've been here following exactly where the market trend has led. In 2018, my 45-pound heavier self made a video where I said, I think Marvel Spider-Man should come to PC. Why? Because according to what we saw in the PC hardware market, the expansion was so big, the explosion in tech at the time, based on Bitcoin mining, and I don't know what the other factors were, but Circana put this data out there, and they said that the PC market had grown by almost $2 billion, basically like 100 and something percent from previous years. Yeah, this is me. I was a little chubbier then, but again, I just throw that out there because since 2018, I've been following this stuff. And keep in mind, I just started making YouTube videos. If you want to look at the date of this particular video, it's from 5 years ago when the first Spider-Man game came out. And I said, why Marvel Spider-Man should be on PC. Critical analysis. And I just cited all the data that I had and I walked away. And a lot of people at the time were like, maybe. People were more gracious to me then than they are now. Even though then the data was actually a little bit more me just drawing, I thought in that time and period, I was just drawing, dotting, joining lines that I thought, were linked. But at the end of the day, people were doubtful. They were like, I think they should, but I don't think they will. If you look at these comments from back in the day, someone said, I'm not trying to spend $400 on PlayStation to play one game. I agree with you. Someone said, I'd love to see it on PC the most. I have the PS4 as well. However, I don't think Sony should do this because they will sell less PS4s without exclusive games like this. Well, that was the thinking back then until the subscription model started to come in and change the entire game. This is why I've been making these videos. I've been making these videos for a very long time. I know some of you are probably new to the Video Game Fight School channel. Maybe you've never even seen me before in a video. But I've been talking about this stuff from the perspective of the market and how the competition and things have been shifting. This didn't happen in one day. I think people think that, because Game Pass showed up just today, how is it going to basically get the job done? A lot of people have this misconception. They really do think that, because Game Pass, may be in this position, it may not be viable. And, you see all sorts. But the reality is Game Pass is going to be viable, regardless of whether it is that you want it to be or not, regardless of if you think it will be or not. Like I see people talking about Game Pass's long-term strategy. You need to go back to 2017 again and look at how much money Microsoft has brought in to actually play this game. Their foot is going to be on the neck of Sony for a long time until the market eventually bends to a whole different chimeric version that you never could, expect. That's what's going to happen. You better hope you see it coming quickly, or you can stay in the back and still keep thinking that the console sales is going to be basically what it is. Nah, this has been coming from a long time. But again, I think that's the context that maybe I failed to bring or maybe I should bring in my other videos. I'll step off this video right now. Thanks for your time. Peace out.